Hi all, in this video we'll be looking at the treasure system that arrives with Age of War. So, what is this treasure system all about? Well, beginning with Chapter 1 of Age of War, you will be able to head out, collect and bring home treasures. But in order to accumulate your wealth, you will first have to build a treasure room in your base. Before we dive into further details, let's briefly touch on the role the treasure system plays in the game. Introduced with Chapter 1, the treasure system builds the foundation for what's to come next in the Age of War. Chapter 2 will see a complete overhaul of the existing purge system, which will be closely tied to your accumulated treasures. Purges will now come for your riches, and attackers will do everything they can to break into your treasure room. The more treasures you hoard, the more difficult purges you will attract. But that's not all, the fortune of your treasure room will also serve as a new currency in-game. Now that we know what's on the horizon and understand the importance of treasures, let's have a closer look at the treasure room and treasures. In order to create a designated treasure room or area in your base, you need to build a treasure coffer. It can be unlocked at level 20 for 3 points, and you can find it under decoration in your knowledge. Once unlocked, you can build it with the construction hammer, and it's sorted under the decorations tab. When attempting to build the coffer, you will notice two things. First, that the coffer comes with an NPC, it cannot be placed without. And second, a large glowing area surrounding the coffer. This is the area that indicates the reach of your coffer. And in case you are wondering about the exact reach, here's a coffer seen from far above. The effective range is about 7 to 8 foundations. All treasures placed within the glowing circle will be counted towards your total fortune. You can interact with the coffer itself, and as you will see, it has an inventory like other storage containers. This is where you can store some of the smaller treasures. We will talk about the different treasure types in a bit. You can also interact with the treasurer, which will open an overview of all your accumulated treasures, including what's in the chest and what has been placed in the treasure room. And if you think your treasures are safe, you're wrong. Well, they are somewhat safe until Chapter 2 and Purges, but that won't stop a band of PvP thieves stealing heroics and clearing out your treasure room. Let's talk about the different treasures. There's a number of smaller treasures that can be crafted or found as loot in all kinds of chests, drops from NPCs in the world or bosses. Some of the treasures you can find are new, but some existing items have also been newly classified as treasures. You know when an item is a treasure as it has the tag in its description. Familiar items that now count as treasures are silver and gold dust, bars and coins, as well as the decorative metal skull, petrified egg, kinscourge and serpentman statue. New smaller treasures that can be found as loot are an embellished amphora, a golden Argosian brazier, a finely decorated plate, a gilded urn, a gilded harp, and a gilded jade warhorn. While dust, bars and coins can all be deposited into your coffer, the other smaller treasures have to be placed within the radius of your treasure room in order to count. When you learn the treasure coffer knowledge, you also learn a recipe for a coin pile, which makes for a perfect decoration in your treasure room, all while adding value to it. And finally, there are heroic treasures. These can only be found in select named locations in the Exile lands and on the Isle of Septa. So far we have found the following heroic treasures: a Derkedo cat idol, a bountiful treasure chest, and an ancient Lemurian statue. In the Exile lands, we found cats typically around pirates, the treasure chests in the northern regions, and the Lemurian statues in the jungle. Once you find one of these treasures, the only way of bringing it to your treasure room is by picking it up and carrying it very slowly to your base. While you carry heroic treasures, you can neither sprint, jump, climb, swim or fight. Any action will drop the treasure. Since heroic treasures are found in hostile areas, it would be wise to clear your path from potential enemies before you proceed. You can also put the treasure down if needed and pick it up again. It won't despawn for a good while. Alternatively, when playing with friends, you can of course have others protect you and keep enemies busy. And while you can't have followers carry the treasure for you, nor use a mount, fortunately you can teleport via map room or transportory stone. Note that the locations where heroic treasures can be found have multiple random spawn points. If you know a place where you have found a heroic treasure before, but can't find it anymore, we suggest you continue searching within the area. Unless someone else has recently picked up a treasure, it's possible that it spawns in a slightly different location. Once you have carried one of these bad boys home, make sure to place it within the radius of your treasure room in order for it to be registered. To place the treasure while carrying it, simply click your left mouse button and the outline of your treasure room will appear. You can then place the treasure and it will be registered. If you want to place them elsewhere though, they also make for excellent decorations, though you have to place them within the radius of the coffer. Before we talk about what else you can expect from treasures in the future, let's have a last look at what some of these treasures are worth. When you start placing treasures in your room or depositing gold and silver into your coffer, you will notice that different items have a different value. While coins and dust are generally at the bottom of the list, the heroic treasures are worth the most. However, they are also the most difficult, or shall we say most tedious, to acquire. So, when trying to accumulate more wealth, it might make sense to go for the smaller stuff you can get easier, but simply get more of it. And more of it there will be. The developers have confirmed that more treasures will be added with future chapters, and we for one can't wait for more placeables to hunt down. Now, Chapter 1 of Age of War is just the beginning. Go out, hunt treasures and accumulate your fortune. But with Chapter 2 and further progression of the game, treasures will continue to play a bigger role. As mentioned previously, the value of your fortune will determine the strength of purchase that can attack you. We say can, because with a new system you can decide if you want to participate in purchase or not. Furthermore, you will be able to use the contents of your coffer as currency to buy useful things that might aid you in your defense against purchase. Examples that were given are the ability to hire mercenaries, purchase recipes, and, just to share a little hint at an exciting future feature, the ability to hire tavern patrons to work in your tavern. We can't really share more about this, as we don't want the devs to purge us, but if you want to learn more about what's coming in future chapters, stay tuned and patient. It's going to get better and better. One last thing, we recommend getting a lot of the heroic treasures now, because Chapter 2 will see the addition of ambushes. Yes, you heard right. In the future, there's a chance to get ambushed by treasure hunters while carrying home heroic treasures. And this will ramp up the difficulty of bringing them home for sure. The good news though is that, should the attackers be successful and take the treasure from you, you will be able to hunt them down and recapture it. The same goes for future attacks on your treasure room, but more about this when Chapter 2 arrives. And this sums up pretty much all you need to know about the new treasure system. If you found our feature overview helpful, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe and feel free to leave a comment.